Hey there, I'm Alan Matthews from Classical Guitar Shed, and in this video we're going to be looking at a capo. What is a capo? Why would you use a capo? How do you use a capo? Do I need a capo? All these questions and more will be answered in just a second. So a capo, C-A-P-O, what is this thing? This is basically a finger. You can clamp it onto your guitar, and they come in many different shapes. This one happens to look like this. It's got a little spring in it. They can be very simple, from just a pencil with a rubber band holding the strings down. The only requirement is that it just locks the strings down behind a fret and just presses them all down, so that where you did have your open strings here, now you have your open strings wherever you place it. And it just raises the pitch of the guitar. So wherever you put it, that becomes your new nut. This is the nut of the guitar. It just moves it to where now the instrument becomes smaller. So why would you use this? Well, there are a few different reasons why you would actually use a capo. First off is if you are playing chords along with a singer or something like that, and you're playing along, and they say, oh, that's in A minor. Could you play that in B flat minor instead? Instead of saying, no, I can't play that in B flat minor, I don't even know what that is, then you can say, why, yes, I can play that in B flat minor. And you can move this up one fret. And then, oh, I can play in all keys now. So you can make your voice, you can use the same chords in your left hand and move this capo around, and then you can be playing in different keys while using the same chords. And a lot of folk players will do this so that it doesn't sound like they're just playing in G, C, D songs the whole time. Because it was down here, then that was a whole different song, even though it's the same left-hand fingerings. So that's one of the main reasons that people use capos, is folk players or singers, people accompanying singers, so that you can use different chords to change the key with it. Spanish music, flamenco music, oftentimes will use a capo on the first or second fret to brighten the sound. What does brighten mean? It just makes it pop a little bit more. So it's a little bit, instead of having, then you could bring it up a couple of frets, and it's just a little bit brighter, a little bit more exciting. And it cuts through sound a little bit better when it's a little bit higher. So that's one of the reasons that a lot of flamenco players will use this as well. It also makes the frets closer together because these are wider apart. I don't know if that's a reason that flamenco players do it or not, but it's a benefit because it just makes the instrument a little bit easier to get around on right here. So that's the second reason. A third reason is that a composer in a piece of classical guitar music or something, a composer may use this for a particular reason. So they might say, bar it on the 5th fret because they want it to sound more like a lute or a mandolin. If you capo it up, then your open strings are going to be higher. And so it'll just make the instrument sound like a higher pitched instrument. You can also find in some classical guitar music, this capo doesn't do it very well, but you can find it to where it's used as a special effect. So just a few strings of the strings will be clamped down so that you can have some strings open full length and others will be higher, will be shorter string length. And that could be on either side. Some people even, some pieces call for cutting out the capo so that it only mutes certain strings and others can vibrate through them. So that gets into a special effect. Kind of the same thing as pianists might throw keys on the strings on a piano to make it sound a little bit different. It's the exact same thing. It's called affected guitar, and it's just a special technique and very cool. But normally you won't be doing that. If you're having to ask what a capo is, you probably won't be playing that piece right now. So those are the main reasons for capo. But there's one more that I almost forgot, and that is just if you want to change a pace in your practicing. If you're practicing your chords, if you're practicing going between A minor and D minor, or you're practicing finger picking patterns or a piece of music or anything else, then it might be that it can spice up your practice to just move a capo up, and now all of a sudden it's going to sound different. So it's a way to just spice things up sometimes if you want to. However, and I had a student that did this, he got into the habit of playing with a capo, and then whenever he would not play with a capo, then his guitar seemed weird to him. The dot, he had a dot on the 7th fret, and now that's in a different place. It just messed with his eyes because he wasn't used to playing things down here. He was used to playing them up here because he liked to practice that way. So beware of that possible pitfall, or just move it around enough that you get really versatile with playing with a capo. So I hope you've enjoyed this foray into capos. You don't need one unless you're playing with something that actually demands one. But if you want to pick one up, why not? It's fun to have in the toolkit. All right, please subscribe to this channel, and I'll talk to you soon.